Friends, today we are going to talk about something super exciting. New Year's resolutions for 2025. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, resolutions, they never work. Let me tell you, we are about to change that. I want you to jump into 2025 with hope, joy, and a really solid plan. By the end of this video, you have some super simple steps and a few handy tools that will help you make 2025 your best year yet. We all know how this usually goes. January 1st rolls around and we are excited. Maybe we got some fancy workout clothes for Christmas or we promised ourselves we'd read 5 books every month. Then a few weeks later, those shiny sneakers are hiding under the couch or our books are collecting dust on the shelf. We've all been there, done that, right? Well, guess what? We are going to talk about why that happens and then figure out how we can avoid these pitfalls. A lot of times our resolutions fail because we jump in without a plan, or we try to do a lot too much at once. A lot of times our resolutions fail because we jump in without a plan, or we try to do way too much at once. Maybe we say I'm going to wake up every day at 4 a.m. and run 10 miles, but we haven't gone for a run in years. Then by week 2, we give up and eat a huge pizza because it's freezing outside and who wants to run in the cold anyway? I've been totally guilty of that. The good news is we can do better. First, let's look at why these resolutions tend to flop. One big reason is that they are often too big or too vague. We say, I want to lose weight or I want to get healthy, but we don't specify what that really means. How do we do it? Or how much time it will take. Another reason is that we don't have a step-by-step plan. We might say, I'm going to read the entire Bible this year, but we don't map out which chapters we'll read each day or when in the day we'll do it. Also, we might not have any support. We keep our goals to ourselves. And then when we struggle, there is no one around to keep us motivated. Another big thing is that we forget why we are doing it in the first place. If you are just trying to lose weight because someone teased you, that might not be as motivating as wanting to be healthy so you can play with your kids longer. And finally, another big thing is that we forget why we are doing it in the first place. If you are trying to lose weight because someone teased you, that might not be as motivating as wanting to be healthier so you have the energy to play with your kids or serve others. And finally, a big pitfall is trying to change everything all at once. We want to read 10 books a month, volunteer every weekend, keep a spotless house, run a marathon, learn French, and master the guitar starting on January 1st. It's no wonder we get overwhelmed. Trust me, you are not alone if you've fallen into any of these traps. I once decided I was going to transform into a super productive morning person overnight. I set an alarm for 5 a.m., convinced I will hop out of bed, ready to run a few miles, then read a chapter of a personal development book, then journal, then go for some breakfast. Day 1, I did it barely. Day 2, I hit snooze more times than I can count. By day 3, I gave up completely and slept till 10 a.m. That's when I realized maybe I should ease into it, like waking up 15 minutes earlier at a time instead of making the jump right from 8 a.m. all the way to 5 a.m. in one go. So what's the secret to setting up resolutions that actually work? One way is to use a strategy called SMART goals. That's just a fun acronym that reminds us to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, you will say, I want to exercise for 30 minutes 4 times a week. That's specific. It's measurable because you know exactly how many days and how many minutes. It's hopefully achievable if you pick a realistic workout time and pace. It's relevant because it actually matters for your well-being, and it's time-bound because you are committing to doing it each day. When Jesus talked about counting the cost in Luke 14:28, he essentially said, if you plan to build a tower, make sure you know how much it will cost so you are prepared. That's great advice for us when we set goals. We want to be prepared for what's going to take time, energy, maybe even money, so we can actually follow through. Now let's get into some practical steps you can take to make 2025 resolutions actually stick. First, I recommend writing them down. Don't just keep them floating around in your head like a daydream. Get out a piece of paper or open up your notes app on your phone and jot down exactly what you want to do. Something powerful happens when you see your goals in front of you every day. Put that piece of paper somewhere you see it, maybe on your fridge or tape it on your bedroom mirror. Next, break your resolution into smaller tasks. For instance, if your big dream is to write a book, don't try to pump out the entire thing in a week. Take it slow. Spend a few days brainstorming your ideas. Then aim for writing 1 page a day or maybe 500 words a day. Something you can manage even on a busy schedule. After a month, you can go back and review what you've written. That way, you don't feel overwhelmed by the massive goal of writing an entire book at once. Another handy tip is to get an accountability buddy. Having a friend or group that shares a similar goal can work wonders. If you want to lose weight, find a workout buddy or join a fitness class. If you want to read the Bible daily, look for a Bible study group that reads together. It's way easier to stick with your plan when you've got people in your corner. Then celebrate your small wins. This one is really important. If you manage to walk for 15 minutes today, give yourself a high five. If you wrote 2 pages of your book, do a little happy dance. You can set up small rewards too. If you work out 4 times a week for a whole month, maybe you treat yourself to a new pair of socks or let yourself watch a fun movie you've been wanting to see. It doesn't have to be huge or expensive. Just something small that says, hey, you did a great job. Review and adjust regularly. Goals ain't carved in stone. You might find that your work schedule changes or you have a new family commitment. It's totally okay to tweak your goals so they still fit in your life. If your mornings got hectic, switch to reading at night. The key is staying consistent, not being stuck in your plan that no longer works. Remember, God cares about your growth. Romans chapter 12 verse 2 says something about renewing our minds, about letting God transform us. Romans chapter 12 verse 2 says something like renewing our minds, about letting God transform us. That can really apply to our resolutions. It reminds us we are allowed to change, and sometimes that means adjusting our habits and thoughts as we go. Let's talk about some awesome ideas for 2025 resolutions that you might want to try. Maybe pick 1 or 2 that resonate with you. For your health, you can try exercising 3 or 4 times a week, drinking more water, or making a point to eat at least 1 fruit or 1 vegetable every day. That way, you will have more energy, you will feel better, and you will be taking care of the body God gave you. If you want to grow spiritually, you could decide to read or listen to 1 or 2 chapters of the Bible a day, or memorize a new verse each week. There are lots of Bible apps that send you daily reminders, or you could join a friend in this and test each other every day about what you read. That's a simple way to deepen your faith. Maybe you want to learn something new. Learn painting, baking, or playing an instrument. Learning a new skill can be a ton of fun, and it keeps your brain sharp. Plus, you might discover a hidden talent. If you want to serve others more, you could volunteer once a month at a local charity to help with a church activity. That's a wonderful way to show kindness and love to people who need it, and it often blesses you in return. You might also set a financial goal for 2025, like saving a certain amount of money every month. If you find yourself saying, I want to have an extra money to save, maybe try tracking your spending for a week. You'll be surprised how those little purchases add up, like fizzy drinks, snacks, or apps you buy on the whim. Cutting out a few things here and there can help free up some cash to save. And by the end of the year, you'll be proud how much you would have saved. I know finances aren't always the most exciting topic, but it's really empowering to have some savings. It gives you a sense of security and helps you to be more generous when friends or family need help. If your church has a charity drive, you can give more comfortably. If an unexpected bill pops up, you won't panic. You have a little cushion ready. No matter what goals you set, remember that obstacles pop up. Life happens. Maybe you get sick, maybe you get extra busy with school or work, or maybe you just lose motivation. When those moments hit, take a step back and pray or reflect. Ask God for strength and patience. Remember why you started. Sometimes that simple reminder can reignite your motivation. Another tip is to take it one day at a time. If you miss a workout or skip reading the Bible, don't throw in the towel or say, oh well, I failed, might as well stop. No, just start the next day. A slip up here and there doesn't erase your progress. Focus on progress, not perfection. Lean on others when you are feeling down too. That's where your accountability buddy or group can cheer you on. You can say, hey, I'm feeling super lazy or unmotivated today. Please remind me why we started this. More often than not, they will have your back. Reminding yourself wisely is another piece of the puzzle. Now, if your goal was to eat healthy, maybe don't celebrate a week of healthy eating with a giant triple chocolate cake. Unless you share it, maybe. You can reward yourself with a small treat, or even a new recipe that's healthy but extra yummy. If your resolution was to read more, you could treat yourself to a cool new bookmark after finishing 3 or 4 chapters. Those little pat on the back moments give you something to look forward to. Using scripture as an anchor is also powerful. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It reminds us we don't have to rely on our own willpower alone. God is there to give us strength. Whenever you are feeling weak or ready to quit, take a moment to remember that you've got heavenly help. That can be a huge source of hope. As we progress with 2025, I want you to feel excited. It's not about being perfect. It's about making real progress and inviting God into your plans. If you do that, you'll be amazed at the doors that open. Here's a quick recap of the key ideas. Set SMART goals so they are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Write them down somewhere you see them. Break them into small tasks you can handle day by day or week by week. Get support from friends, families, or online groups. Celebrate each little step you take. Adjust your plan as life changes, and lean on God through prayer and scripture, because that's where you'll find true strength. I'd love it if you could share one of your own 2025 resolutions in the comments. Let me know what you are aiming for. Maybe you have a health goal, a faith goal, or learning goal, or you want to serve others more. I'd be super happy to cheer you on and maybe even learn from your ideas. Also, if you have any tips I didn't mention, please share those too. We are all in this together and supporting each other in a wonderful way to stay on track. Let's make 2025 a year of growth, joy, and faith. Remember, if you feel like you are slipping or you are not good enough, that's just a lie that tries to hold you back. Whether your resolution is big or small, whether it's brand new or something you've tried 20 times before, I believe you can make real progress this year. You've totally got this. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me. I hope you feel inspired and I hope you are ready to take some concrete steps towards your 2025. And I hope you are ready to take some concrete steps towards your 2025 goals. Remember, baby steps every day beat giant leaps that fizzle out in a week. I'm rooting for you, and most importantly, God is rooting for you. Remember, starting strong is not as important as the discipline to keep going. Keep going, and I'll see you next time.